Welcome back to Uncle Dan's Backyard Barbecue. If you like this channel, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Today we're going to be doing some picanha out on the Memphis with some chimichurri sauce. I got some red peppers, I got some paprika, garlic, black pepper, cumin, oregano, salt, and red wine vinegar. So first, while we get this picanha, I'm getting it to room temperature, and then I'm going to cut it and I'm going to season it with some Brazilian seasoned salt. And we're going to smoke it. And so right now we're going to start with getting the sauce ready. So I have about a cup of parsley, and we're going to put all this in the food processor here. And then we're going to chop it all up and make it nice. I took about 4 red peppers, and I just roasted them in this pan, get them nice and soft. We're going to put all these in here. Well, we'll start with about this many, right? Get that in there. And so after we get that, we're going to just mix everything together. I got three cloves of garlic. Get that put in there. Get some pepper. A little bit of pepper in there. I would say a tablespoon or a teaspoon. And some oregano. Get in there. About a tablespoon. Some kosher salt. My favorite. About 2 teaspoons of the paprika. Smoked paprika. Put that in there. A little bit of olive oil. There we go. And some of this red wine vinegar. Get this all set up in the bottle. There we go. Get this on the food processor. Just gonna pulse it. Just kind of get the sauce made. Until it gets nice and mixed. Kind of like that. And once we get it like this, get the sauce just nice and I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil just to, it's a little chunky still. I like it a little chunky, but get it nice and blended here. Just a little pulse. Make sure you get those garlic nice and chopped. So, all right, so we have our chimichurri sauce ready, and we'll start getting the picanha ready. So let me go get the Memphis up to temperature. So we're going to start about 225. We're going to smoke it until it's about 130 degrees inside temperature, and we'll use our brand new meat thermometer from Joy. Okay, so now we have our sauce made. We're ready to prep our picanha. So I like to check, make sure you get all the silver skin off. And you should have a good fat cap. And I like to cut it about, I would say, about 1.5 inches, right, thickness. And you need a really sharp knife. Cut through this meat. You want to cross the grain. So we're going to do this. And then we're going to season it with... I'm going to do 2 separate salts today just because we got 2 different picanhas. But it's going to be, the black Hawaiian is pretty much my favorite from Smoked Seasoned Salt. Our buddy over there gives us an Uncle Dan discount, so go get some of your Smoked Seasoned Salt, and I'll put the link down below. So we'll get that done. And so we got, you know, a nice cap on our meat. I like to get it, and I like to salt it on both sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it, and we're going to salt it on both sides, and we're going to let it sit because we're going to smoke this meat today. So I'm going to put some black or the Hawaiian black Hawaiian seasoned salt on here. On this one. And you kind of get it kind of liberal. Nothing wrong with salt on your meat. And then I'll do this little one too. And we'll get it on both sides. Kind of push it on in there. You want to get it nice and in there. Like so. And then flip it over. Get on both sides. Press it in there. It's kind of like getting a meat rub. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep it. I'm going to put it in this pan for now while we let it sit and let that salt work its way into that meat. About an hour before you throw it onto the smoker. Get it all nice and pressed in there. And then we're going to do the same thing to this one. Just cut it across the grain. This one's got a little bit of, if you notice this one, see how thick the fat cap is here? Oh, let me show you this way. See how it's, so what I like to do is I like to trim it so that fat cap is the same size all the way around the meat. Because this fat cap's gonna melt and it's gonna put the flavor in that meat. So, okay. About another inch and a half on the meat here. I'll get one more out of it. Okay, then we're going to lay it on its side. I'm going to trim a little bit of this heavy side on the fat cap off of these pieces because it's so heavy. And we'll show you later how we're going to use this. We're going to use these fat as we cut it. Those are going to be our handles so that we can use our fingers to eat this. All right, now I have some standard Brazilian seasoning salt for barbecue. It's just white. So I'm going to put this on this one. Okay. Okay. A little white Brazilian seasoning salt. I'm gonna salt both sides too, just like I did with the black Hawaiian. Get it nice and pressed in there. Okay. Okay, so it's on both sides, nice and seasoned. We're gonna let it sit, let that salt start sinking into that meat. I'm gonna put this over in this pan for now, just to keep our two salts separated. And there we go. All right, now we're gonna move this all out on the grill. All right, now we got the Memphis up to 180 and we're gonna smoke it. So we're gonna smoke our picanha on the middle rack. So I'm gonna take the picanha and I'm gonna put it on the middle rack just like this. And we're gonna start with the black Hawaiian. Get it on here. And we're gonna run it at 180 degrees until we get to the inside temperature in the meat to 120, okay? So as we get this picanha up to about 120, and we're gonna use our favorite meat temperature, and we're gonna test it. Right now, it's at 64 degrees inside. So once it gets to 120, then we're gonna take it off. So I'm gonna go get the other picanha with the Brazilian salt. So this one has the black Hawaiian salt. So I'll go get that one and we'll put them on. Okay, now I'm gonna get the other picanha on here. On the end. So it gets nice and smoked before we sear it. Okay. So now we got both kinds of picanha Out here, we're going to let it smoke on the Memphis at 180 until it gets to 120 degrees temperature inside the meat. Then we're going to pull the meat off and we're going to prep it. Okay? All right, we reached the 120 temperature on our meat thermometer, so it's time to pull them off the grill. So I pulled these off already, and what we want to do is we want to put a piece of butter, unsalted, on each one. Okay? And so we're going to put these on here now that they're nice and smoked. We'll put these on top, melt that butter. And then what I'm going to do is I'll put another thing of butter on each one. Then I'll wrap it on aluminum foil and let them rest with this butter on there. Oh, it's gone. I'll let it rest with this butter on. I'm going to wrap it in aluminum foil and I'm going to get the grill to 400 degrees and then we're going to sear this meat. All right, so we have our picanha nice and wrapped with our butter on it. So what we want to do with the Memphis is we want to change it from a smoker grill into a searing grill. So how to do that is inside here you got the Memphis tool. We'll put this rack up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change out the inside of this grill. And we're going to insert a searing, nice and clean, brand new searing model. It's going to go in here, right? And then we're going to change this so that we sear our meat. We're going to take this one out and we're going to set our grill to 400 degrees. Right here. We're going to move up the grill to 400 degrees. All right, we're going to take our picanha, now that we have it here, and we're going to start searing it. Over the flame. We got the grill at 400. And we want to get the internal temperature to about 130 to 135. So we'll use our probe and we'll check it.